Yo, look, I'm back with another video, and today we're gonna talk about why Shorty done ghosted you, gang. Unedited, raw. You feel me? You gonna get the raw dog real spill. Pause. You get what I'm saying. So the main thing that you gotta realize when it comes to females, and something that I've experienced with my own self in my own life, I ain't too old, but you still getting a little bit of advice from Unc, and Unc know a little bit of what he talking about for real. Now, the first thing, like I said, is the fact that you have to remember that you are inviting the girl into your world. So at the end of the day, the stuff that you like to do, the things you do when no one is around, any of these type of things, that is your world. If you don't got a car, you don't got no crib, you ain't got, those are very important. I'm not gonna get on you too much about you having to have those things because you got broke dudes who they ain't got no problem pulling shorties. But depending on what God gifted you with, you might look a little dusty. You might be a little overweight. You might be shy. You might be whatever. Which that shy stuff gotta go. Regardless, it gotta go. But you may not be given the gifts of the cards that everybody else is given, and you have to make the best out of sometimes the things you got. And like I said, the best way to do that is by having a world to actually invite the female to. If your world that you have, you don't got nothing, you don't have nothing to invite them to, then what are they supposed to enjoy? What are they supposed to be trying to make something? There's nothing that's going on with you. So when you get you your crib, you get you your house, and you get to set the atmosphere of it the way you want to, that's gonna already boost you up a lot in June. So that's one of the biggest things that I would work on doing. I'd make sure that the world that you invite these females into is something that you can genuinely say is you. Because at the end of the day, if you got some type of fake image going on where you want to act like you hood or any of that type of stuff, sure you're gonna see through the cracks. You don't know how like detective females is, bro. You don't recognize how, not all of them. Some of them like a bag of rocks. But a good amount of them, 100%, be analyzing you. They be spotting things out with you because that's what they have to do. As men, we got the muscle, we got the body, we got all that. They're mental geniuses. They're mentally smart as I don't know what. So when you don't put those things in the perspective of you putting on this fake persona or something, and then you fall short because a female will ghost you even after like a couple of weeks of y'all getting to know each other or whatever, or even if y'all have built up a good communication and y'all have started talking and junk, if the image that you put out that she was the first attracted to in the first place is not consistently who you are, then you're gonna get straight out exposed at some point by. That's why you can't be messing with the hood shorties. You can't be messing with the nerds or any of those type of people if they aren't genuinely on that same wavelength. Now, the other thing that I would have to tell you is you're not going to catch them all. So I'm pretty sure, as someone who has pulled a good amount of females and stuff, you may recognize that sometimes it doesn't work, and you're going to come across that a bunch of times where a female legit, this ain't Pokemon. Like, you're not going to be able to catch all of the girls that you want. You're not going to be able to holler at all these females. But you gotta still get out there. And you're not gonna be the best version, you're not gonna be whatever, but you have to enjoy the time that you have with those people. Learn from the experience, learn the game, learn why you got ghosted, learn why these things happen to you. And when you start to really question those things and analyze it, like, you know, a big thing that you gotta remember is to not care too much. Like, you start caring too much, she notices it. She pays attention to you. She really does watch you and sees how you're feeling towards her because she wants to know who's feeling more. She's the one who's asking those type of questions. Who's feeling who more? Who's more interested in the other. And if you're more interested in her than she is of you, she might dog you out, gang. I ain't even, she might dog you out or ghost you, because at the end of the day, she can't do nothing with you. She don't really want to hurt you. Sometimes that's how females are. We appreciate those. They be like, they don't want to fit you. You really should, because if she really not feeling you and she decides to just take you on for the ride, then that's going to be tragic work for you. You going to be thinking this whole time that you are him, and you're really not, sir. You're really not. So you really have to not even take a ghosting as an L for real. Take it as a blessing, because I'm telling you, if someone's not feeling you and they ghost you, they saved you. Because they could have for sure taken advantage of you, especially if you are caring too much. You are showing way too much attention. You text them 24/7. You saying I love you in the first couple of weeks. I mean, couple of weeks is still crazy, nigga. Like, you gotta build up to that. You gotta really build yourself up to get to that point with the female to say something like that, or all that love bombing and all that type of stuff. It works for some females, but some females will catch on and be like, oh, this nigga op. He legit just trying to mess with me mentally. Females are not dumb. I'm telling you, they more psychological than most, you feel me? Most dudes in the world in the first place. So you got to stop caring as much. You got to stop giving them so much attention. You need to start focusing that attention to yourself, because when a female sees somebody has got something going for themselves as well, that's a boost. Not enough men are even on that goal, on that purpose, on that drive to be the person that they want. So when they see that you're going into a direction that you find interesting or any of those type of things, that's something that already would attract them. The next thing I tell you is stop taking and copying every single thing that you see on the internet. So you're going to be, I'm pretty sure if you were trying to holler at a female, or you questioning why she ghost me, any of that type of stuff, she has probably met 1,000 different dudes. Because girls meet, don't ever forget this, a fine female gets hollered at maybe 3 times a day. And 3 times a day, you gotta beat 3 times a day. You got 7 days in a week. You got 4 weeks in a month. You gotta add those things up. When she pop out, if she popped out every single day, add that times those, add 3 times those days. And you have to really psychologically and mentally smart think. You have to be the best. Not the best, because, not everybody. You got to be over a good percentage of the most of these 3 dudes that she going to see every single day. You got to be smart on that. Now, like I said before, most of the females that you'll come across, if you are copying the same thing that you see on Instagram, these YouTubers, any of these type of stuff, most of the time they've already come across somebody who has probably read and done the exact same thing as the YouTubers that you've already been watching and getting advice from. Look at the likes of the video. Look at the shares. Look at the views. Why do you think that out of all those 14,000 that just seen that video, why would they not implement them skills? That's 14 more thousand people that are doing those exact same things. You got to learn to find your own wave, bro. You got to find your own way to holler at females. You could be totally different, a wild one. And like I said, you can't catch them all. So it's going to be trial and error. That's straight up. You got to find that pocket, that niche, that pocket of, this is what I like to do. This is the type of females that I like going for. And when you find that pocket, when you find those movements with females and stuff like that, it's going to boost you up, because they're going to be like, I've never met a dude like that. Being somebody that a female has never met will make you more valuable in itself. I'll tell you this, for me personally, I can't tell you that I've gotten done right by every single female, no, but I can tell you this, ain't no female ever forgot me, and I can tell you that ain't no female ever said I was like anybody else, because at the end of the day, I've always been different. I'm somebody that they gonna always remember as somebody that's different, you know, and that sticks out. That's why they're gonna hit you back up past time. You know, I'm spontaneous. I like doing stuff just out of nowhere. I like just being goofy sometimes. But then I got my serious side. Then I be getting all spiritual sometimes. But when you got all these different types of pockets, you get different versions of yourself. And when you start expressing those things, not too much, but just being different, it shows you that you're not like the regular people. You're not like the regular of all these people. You can look at my channel and tell I'm not like everybody else. I'm a whole different breed. So that is something that's so important that I'd have to tell you to focus on, is just finding your own pocket, being your own self, not trying to follow the trends that you see everybody else and that they giving you advice. You're gonna have to find your own things, your own callings on how to talk to females. Oof. Now, the other thing that I'd really have to tell you lastly, and I wrote it down. Oh yeah, is the mysterious junk, bro. I can't tell you how just being mysterious, and what mysterious basically is you remember those times where you've had a girlfriend. Hopefully, okay, I'm gonna have to explain it to the people that ain't had a girlfriend. But when you have had a girlfriend and you wasn't stressing no other female, you wasn't stressing hollering at no other female, what was it that you realized? You realized that all these females start trying to talk to you. All these females start trying to holler at you, do all these things. They getting all comfortable, all that type of stuff. First thing is, females do love competition. You know, not all females, but a good amount. Because me personally, in my own life, I have not experienced a female where I was talking to another female, and then the girl that I was talking to before, she decided to start popping up, trying to get in the midst of it, or has something to say about me talking to other females, any of that type of stuff. Always remember that that is something that lets people know your value. You don't want to seem like you don't have no other options in life. You know, you want the female to know that, hey, look, you're not the only one I could pull. Because at the end of the day, no girl wants somebody that nobody else wants. They may tell you that all you want to, but that's not true. Now, like I said, with the mysterious aspect, when you are being loyal to a female or whatever, you become probably a lot more quiet. You probably ain't talking to as many females, you whatever. Silence is the biggest thing that's going to keep your reputation, how females look at you, or any of that, because they don't know who you truly are. They don't have a vision of who you are. They don't know how you act. So with that being said, you got to learn, hey, look, bro, I'm not going to give too many people my attention. And that goes for dudes as well. Like, you know, when you not hanging out with all these dudes, you know, even if they your friends and junk like that, and you just a loner, because trust me, I'm going to make a video about this one day. Most of the time, the dudes that you around, they really ain't even your friends in the first place. You probably got something that they enjoy about you or any of that, but they really not your friends. So, but I'm not going to say that for everybody. All I can say is, look, if they be making fun of you and junk like that, and they make it a trend, they make it something, that's not friend. That's not a real friend. So don't even keep it like that. Now, like I said, a female likes a dude who's by himself, lonesome, a lone wolf, or any of those type of things. So just being by yourself, you know, and while you're being by yourself, you know, it also brings yourself out. Like, you know, you're connecting with yourself a lot more. You're doing these things. When you're at work, most of the time you're in your own head. You're talking to yourself. You're doing these things. But females around you not thinking about that. They're not thinking about all that type of stuff. They're thinking, what is he thinking about? They're, you know, what's he like? What's his voice sound like? All that. That's why one of the biggest keys is to be mysterious, to be smooth work, not stress too much, not do any of that type of stuff. And when you start to implement these things into your life, you will see progress. You will see, of course, through trial and error, but you're going to see some type of change in how females treat you, talk to you, or any of that type of stuff. I done talked to females with over 100,000 followers and all this type of stuff, but it all came key from just being silent, mysterious, knowing how to fit my own personality and where I need to be and what I'm like, and capitalizing off of those things. So just don't stress. Don't stress. Take your time. Be strategic in your head. And most important, be yourself. Because like I said, a female will spot when you putting on a fake front, regardless of who you are. But that's it for this video, gang.